Hello, people. This is my mic. I usually just got the video with this, but it just drains. Its battery is pretty bad, so I had to switch up the setup. Anyways, I have a thought. Does social media make people inconsistent or just weird? I don't know how else to explain it or what's the right word for it, but inconsistent to me seems like the most appropriate word because that's what is happening. Like, these people in social media, they are inconsistent, as in people who I'm talking about the people who are super active on social media. So inconsistent in the sense they'll see your post, they will probably not interact with it. And also, like, if you send them something, I'm not talking potential just reels and those things, I'm also talking about messages. If you send them a message or anything, you'll probably not get a reply or response on it. But if you reply to their story or things like that, you get a response. So I'm talking about those people. Those people just confuse me because I have never felt like this, or I have never done this. It instead bothers me if I already have certain messages pending. I feel like I have to reply to them. Like, yeah. So it just is weird. I guess you could try it. Maybe you just don't want to reply to certain people, which is totally okay. But and also it's like maybe you're super busy, so you don't want to reply to people. But then if that same person replies to your story, suddenly you are able to reply to them. Like, has social media made people that selfish? I've never really liked Instagram and social media of that sorts. And I thought maybe I should give it another chance, because I wanted to get audience and things like that, and to make content, not necessarily just mere social media engagement kind of content, but like genuine content, and maybe find genuine people, because I thought like Instagram is pretty good for growing your channel, etc. But I obviously still used it for my personal purposes. Like, I added people whom I know. I'm not talking close friends, I'm talking acquaintances, relatives, and things like that. So I added them, and like, I've been seeing that inconsistent behavior from them, which just reminds me again of how maybe me being on social media will make me hate all these people, or if not necessarily hate, but I'll start to have that perception of them that they aren't what they seem. By this I mean, like, when I meet them and when I talk to these people in real life, offline, they are pretty good. Then when it comes to this online world, if I am texting them, I barely get any reply, or if I do, it's like, it's weird replies, like they are not thoughtful. I don't know. Like, if it's convenient, then they'll reply, and then they are okay with leaving the chat just as it is. Like, if let's say there is a conversation happening and then they reply something, I reply something, and then it's like they are fine with sort of ending the conversation by just leaving it, if it makes sense. I cannot think of an exact example, but yeah, like, that's sort of what I experience with people. And I'm not just talking about social media here, not just talking about Instagram here, I'm also talking about WhatsApp, just online conversations which I have with people. And like, most people are inconsistent, which really bothers me, because then that inconsistency proves that their self, which is offline, that is sort of just a conversation for the sake of it, that they are not actually interested in talking to me, maybe offline. but they just want to talk to me because they just want to talk to someone or things like that, or they just want to have a small talk and just maintain that surface level interaction. So for them, that surface level interaction just means that they want to have offline conversations, but online they just want to have their own world. They still want to see things that you do, but not necessarily interact with them. They still would probably not reply to you and things like that online, unless it is, again, as I said, convenient to them, which just made me feel so weird. And I've been trying so hard now, like, to figure out how do I talk with these people online, especially because then online I feel like I have to, like, I can't talk about certain things with them because I'll get ignored or I'll get a reply like few days later or something. But if I had, said something which is convenient to them or which is easier for them to respond to, which is just a one line thing, then I'll get a response like pretty immediately. And I'm not like doing some trauma dumping shit on them, obviously I'm not doing that, but like in general, if there is a longer answer which is required of them or anything in general, then it's like, it's just inconsistent. Like, most people are inconsistent with their efforts, and I thought I'll adapt to this world. By world, I don't mean like the whole goddamn world, but I'm saying like get adapted to these kind of people, but they are everywhere. How do I adapt to these people? This is a rant. This video has no solution at all. Like, I'm just tired of interacting with these people, but apparently most people, almost every most people, let's call it that, most people just are inconsistent and weird, and it's just so confusing how this is normalized. Like, if you look at it, why is this behavior normalized? Like, why is being selfish normalized? And I don't mean selfish by protecting your boundaries or things like that. I mean like just replying when it's convenient to you, replying when it's something important to you, and not caring, or replying when it's about the other person, let's say, a bit more. Like, okay, now I can think of an example. Like, when it comes to these conversations, like, let's say there is a person X and they're talking with me, and then suddenly I ask X what is going on with your life, just to check up on them and things like that, because I maybe potentially want a friend. I don't know about them, but yeah, I care about them sort of as a friend, and they also say that you are a friend. So I ask X that, how are you doing? X tells me that they're doing blah 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 and all these things, and then I ask certain questions about that thing that X is doing, and then X asks about me, because it's weird for X to not ask about me, right? So just for that purpose, X asks about me, but I don't know, it's just for that purpose, right? So I genuinely tell them that I am maybe, let's say, doing graphic design, or I'm doing this, and then either X ignores or just replies after a very long time, so they don't have to reply as much, or X just like replies very dry message like good, that's just to sort of end that bit of mine, so I don't talk more about it because they're not that interested in it, let's say. So yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, like with those people, usually that's what happens. Or even if it's like they genuinely listen and things like that, and then I talk with X and I'm like, cool, so I guess we'll talk later or something, and then X is like, yeah, cool. But then it's usually me who is reaching out and asking X, rather than X reaching out to me. So these are different scenarios, different people, and different inconsistencies which I have seen. Like, I wouldn't say I'm the perfect person or anything, but I try to be thoughtful as much as I can. And usually if I am doing that with someone, there is a reason why I'm doing that, not because that's just how I am or something like as shallow as that. Usually if I do that, it's because they are a male. Because as I talked in my male female friendships video, I don't necessarily like to talk much with males because of the ambiguity which comes with it. But if there's a female, it is, I don't even think I have ever done this with any female. Like, it's just been opposite with me. Yeah, I've been done opposite with other females. Like, they are the ones doing it with me. It just kind of sucks. But I don't want to be here on this video and just tell you how my life sucks, how I'm just a victim, how I'm just better than these people. I mean, I'm just talking about this because I am tired of inconsistent people, and it sometimes makes me think, why is it normalized? That is my main purpose. Like, don't you guys see how messed up this behavior is? Because most people are like this. So I'm like, why is this normalized? Like, why is this weird behavior normalized? And also, these people can also potentially maybe listen to some other talk if I have, especially when it comes like gossips. Then these people, I have their full attention, which is just weird to me. Like, also I'm talking about here in, like, because I'm in college, so obviously there might be some gossip things or some gossip thing happened with me, something like that. So then these people are interested and they just want to know more, and they are like, I have their full attention. So I'm like, I get super weirded out by it. Like, how can someone just be like that? Again, I'm trying so hard not to talk bad about these people, but I'm just tired of constantly being around the presence of these kind of people. And I feel like Instagram, especially for me, is getting a bit draining, in the sense when I post, I see more of these inconsistencies. I think maybe I should stop caring as much, in the sense, like, I should stop expecting things from these people to genuinely interact with my stuffs, and it's not just in a shallow way, but I like, these people are obviously seeing the stuffs, but they are choosing not to interact with it, as if they don't care about the stuff which I make. Yeah, like, I've never really understood this concept ever really about social media, because I've heard people who say, oh, you didn't like my post, and then it's a very light-hearted casual thing, you didn't like my post, you forgot to like my post. But like, I don't know, it's like someone would rather scroll and go through social media instead of caring about someone they claim as their friend, but not caring about the things which they make, let's say. Because my posts aren't just merely like some stupid shit, it's me genuinely sharing my work, and sometimes I just want validation. Like, if I try something new, like I tried like motion graphics recently, which is pretty new, so I do want some external validation, someone telling me that it's good. I don't have any friend whom I can just share my stuff and they can tell me that, it's good or anything. So in those cases, I have to sort of rely on that. But I think I should stop expecting from these kind of places, like, but I don't think I am wrong in expecting it in the first place or wanting validation, because it's not an insecure validation. It's more like, I have tried something new, I want to know if it's genuinely good, if people genuinely care about this. So yeah, that's all, I guess. Let's try to be kind to other people rather than being selfish. If anybody has some suggestions, let me know. Yeah, that is all. Bye.